What if you woke up alone on a spaceship with no memory of who you are or why you're there? And what if the fate of Earth and another world you've never heard of rested entirely on your shoulders? This is the premise of Andy Weir's Project Hail Mary, the #1 New York Times bestseller that has been called a spiritual successor to The Martian. In this video, I'll give you a spoiler-free overview, then dive into the science, the friendship that steals the show, and why this book is already a modern classic. The story begins with a crisis. Astrophysicists discover that the sun is losing energy at an alarming rate. The culprit, a microscopic organism named astrophage that feeds on stars. Left unchecked, Earth will freeze in a matter of decades. But there's a clue. One nearby star, Tau Ceti, is behaving normally. Something there is killing the astrophage. Humanity's last hope. Send a ship to Tau Ceti, find out what kills the plague, and bring it back. That ship is the Hail Mary. Its sole survivor is Ryland Grace, a middle school science teacher who never wanted to be an astronaut. But when he wakes up, he can't remember any of that. All he knows is that his crewmates are dead and he's millions of miles from home. Part 2. Science as a Superhero. If you've read Andy Weir's The Martian, you know his signature style. Hard science, meticulous problem-solving, and a protagonist who uses humor to cope with impossible odds. Project Hail Mary cranks that up to 11. Weir invents a fictional microbe, astrophage, and treats it with the rigor of a real biological organism. Grace spends weeks in his lab, using the ship's equipment, his own knowledge, and sheer determination to understand how it works, how it propels the ship, and how it might be defeated. Every puzzle is solved step by step. There are no magic fixes, just sweat, trial and error, and a lot of coffee. It's a love letter to science, and it makes the reader feel like they're right there in the lab with Grace. Part 3. An unexpected friend. Just when you think Grace is alone forever, the book delivers its biggest surprise. Another spaceship is in orbit around Tau Ceti. It's alien, and it's inhabited. Meet Rocky. Rocky is an engineer from a world orbiting 40 Eridani. His species, the Iridians, face the same astrophage threat, and their sun is dimming even faster than Earth's. He and Grace are on the exact same mission. The two overcome a staggering language barrier. Rocky speaks in musical notes. Grace uses his science skills to build a translation system. What follows is one of the most charming, heartwarming partnerships in all of science fiction. Rocky is brilliant, endlessly optimistic, and unfailingly polite. Grace is sarcastic, terrified, and deeply human. Together they become a team, a biologist and an engineer, racing to save both their worlds. Part 4. The heart of the story. They discover the solution. A predator called Tomoeba that naturally eats astrophage, but Tomoeba is slippery. It can pass through solid walls, making it incredibly dangerous to transport. Grace and Rocky spend months culturing, testing, and trying to contain it. The science is fascinating, but the real magic is the friendship. Rocky calls Grace his best friend. He risked his life multiple times to save Grace, and Grace, who initially never wanted any of this, finds himself willing to do the same. We learn that Grace wasn't a hero. He was a reluctant recruit, forced onto the Hail Mary against his will. But throughout his journey, he has consistently chosen to act heroically. His arc is about accepting that heroism isn't about volunteering. It's about what you do when the moment comes. Part 5. The Climax and the Choice. In the final act, disaster strikes. Tomoeba escapes, consuming the ship's astrophage fuel. There's only enough fuel left for one ship to return home. Grace immediately offers it to Rocky so Rocky can save his world. But Rocky refuses to abandon his friend. Together they engineer a desperate, seat-of-the-pants solution. Using Rocky's ship as a booster, slingshotting around a planet, and making a final sacrifice. The ending is surprising, uplifting, and deeply satisfying. Without spoiling the final pages, I'll just say that Grace finds a new purpose and a new family in a place he never expected. Conclusion. Why it matters. Project Hail. Mary is more than a clever sci-fi puzzle. It's a story about the power of friendship across impossible divides. It's about finding courage when you never thought you had any. And it's about the optimism that, when faced with extinction, intelligent life can choose cooperation over fear. The film adaptation starring Ryan Gosling is already in theaters, but the book offers so much more detail, science, and heart. If you love hard science fiction, unlikely friendships, and stories that make you laugh and cry, Project Hail Mary is an absolute must-read. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.